morning, everyone. Welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam, and welcome to Bookmas Day 3. I don't know what I plan to do today because I think some of my plans today got cancelled. I'll still have to double check with some of my friends, but today is going to be a sort of like a catch-up day for me at work, so pretty busy on that front. I'm also gotta get moved to a new team, so I am gonna meet my new team, although I've known all of them for a long time now, but I'm gonna meet them now in more of like a team setting, like we're new teammates, so I'm gonna have that meeting later. I don't have any current read, so we need to pick one. I'm gonna potentially read like a chapter of Priority of the Orange Tree, and then also maybe a chapter of like a holiday romance that I have, and we'll go from there. But I also need to set up the stream for Friday's reading sprint. Let me get our Bookmas advent calendar, aka spin the wheel, so I know what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the day. Here's our wheel. Let's find out what our challenge is for today. So today's challenge is to unhaul a book. Why did I put this in? Okay, I'm gonna do that later when I go through my shelves and the new ribbons on my shelves and see what we need to part ways with. Why did I get that? Okay, I thought now's a good time to go through my shelves while I still have my coffee. I really love the ribbons on my shelves. Can you even see? Well, aren't they cute? I really love them. But now I have to figure out what I want to unhaul. So I think we can just go through each shelf and see if there are any potentials. I'm definitely not gonna unhaul something I haven't read yet because I like to read my books before I unhaul them. So we're definitely just gonna go through the ones that I have read. So I forgot to change my batteries. Hold on. Okay, we are back. Let's see. I'm gonna bring you over to the first section of my shelf up there. So this is my horror, mystery, thriller section. I don't have a lot of those, which is why I just lumped them in here. So in the top part, I have read My Lovely Wife. That's it. That's the only one I've read in this top part. And then below here, I have not read anything yet. In here, I've read What Moves the Dead. I've read Defending Jacob. And that's it. That's all I've read. I've been collecting my horror, mystery, thriller books for a while because I wanted to have a lot of selections, and I've only been reading like Kindle books, and now I have a lot of options that I apparently have not read yet. So I don't think I can really unhaul anything from this section right here. So the next section that we can look at is the one above. This is kind of like a bookshelf tour as well. This is my romance section. I've read Happy Place, The Stationery Shop, the El Kennedy Off-Campus series. I've read Heartstopper, I've read Butcher and Blackbird, and 7 Days in June. So if there's anything I want to unhaul here, it might be potentially The Stationery Shop. I mean, I loved this book. I gave this one, I think, maybe 4 stars. It's not a book that I would read again. Still, like a book that I rated highly, so I don't really want to unhaul that. Which means we're moving on to the next section, which is the general fiction literary section. Not gonna unhaul anything from the top here because I've only read The Secret History and I love The Secret History. So in the bottom part, I've read the two Mona Awards, Bunny and Rouge. I've read Beartown. I'm in the middle of Us Against You. Not gonna unhaul this. I love this books. I've read Penance, Even If This Love Disappears Tonight. I've read 184 before, but I haven't read this edition. I think I listened to this on audiobook before. I've read by husbands and Malibu Rising and How High We Go in the Dark. If there was anything that I would unhaul here, it's probably Even If This Love Disappears Tonight. I love this book. This was also a gift by Ashlyn. So I tend to not want to let go of gifts, especially if I have space in my shelf. So I wouldn't be unhauling this right now. I might also be convinced to unhaul Malibu Rising. Now, I have enjoyed this book. I cried so much in this book. Apparently, I gave it 4 stars. I didn't know that I put my rating in here. And I actually love having my rating in the front of books that I've already read. Because then I can just open it and see my rating. I said here, love all the comparisons to fire, destruction, renewal, rising from the ashes, tumultuous childhood is what I put in here. So yeah, I think I could be convinced because I don't think I would reread this book. It was fun when I was reading it and it was definitely bingeable. Like I definitely read this in 1 or 2 sittings and I remember crying, like bawling my eyes out while reading this book. So I have very fond memories, but I'm not gonna read it again, so I could be convinced. Okay, let's move on to the next set of shelves over here. These are, well, this is my manga. I'm not gonna read of anything because I haven't read anything from this section. But this one right here are my historical fiction. So I have The Book Thief, All of You, Every Single One, The Glutton, The Warm Hands of Ghosts, and I think these are historical fiction, but I'm not 100% sure. This one is Americana, Shimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And I saw this in a list. I think this was in that New York Times, like 100 best books of the 21st century, something like that. But I also saw this on Jack Edwards' videos. I think he mentioned that this is going to be like a modern classic. Like he thinks that this book is gonna end up being a modern classic. So I got curious about it. At the back here it says, Ifemelu and Obinze are young and in love when they depart military-ruled Nigeria. In America, Ifemelu has to grapple with what it means to be black, despite her academic success. Obinze plunges into dangerous, undocumented life in London. 15 years later, when they reunite in the newly democratic Nigeria and reignite their passion for each other and for their homeland, they face the hardest decision of their lives. I don't think it's historical fiction actually, it's probably just general fiction, but I don't have space in here right now, so I'm just gonna put it right here. So yeah, I really want to read that soon. And then this one is a book that I just got recently. It's an autobiography of skin by Lakeisha Carr. I just saw the cover and I really liked it. I like how the yellow pops and I thought it would be interesting. It says here at the back that it's a portrait of interconnected generations in the South, offering a tender view into the interior lives of Black women. It is once a powerful look at how experiences are carried inside the body and a joyous testament to how healing can be found within, in love, mercy, gratitude, and freedom. I'm not doing a great job at like picking out books to unhaul. Okay, fantasy. I have all my fantasy books here and I've organized it alphabetically. I mixed all kinds of fantasy, young adult, whatever. I just mixed them, but I do have 2 special sections. So this one is my favorite section, and this one right here is my V.E. Schwab section, just because I have a lot of V.E. Schwab and I really like her work as well. So going from this section right here, I have Ninth House, Six of Crows. These I haven't read yet. Infernal Devices, not gonna unhold that. I love the series. Tempest of Tea, I could be convinced, but the art in the end pages is just so good that I don't want to. Like, this is just too good. So I don't want to unhaul this if I don't have to. Well, I've read all of these and I love, like I enjoyed them. Maybe in the future I might unhaul them, but not now. I haven't read this. I've read the Illuminate Files. I love them. I think I gave Gemini and Obsidio like 5 stars. Or maybe Obsidio 5 stars and Gemini like 4.5. I haven't read this. I haven't read a bunch. At the bottom, obviously my favorite shelf, I'm not gonna unhaul. But right here at the bottom, I already see something that I can unhaul. I've read The Forest Grimm. I enjoyed it for what it was. Can you even see me? Okay, for this section right here, The Forest Grimm, I've read. I enjoyed it for what it was. It definitely gave me that fairy tale fantasy vibes. I have a vlog of that. I'll link it down below. And then obviously my favorite Margaret Orderson's, not gonna unhold those. Um, Brandon Sanderson, I've only read Mistborn, so no. Maybe I should unhold Priority. I'm just kidding. I really want to read it. Now, this is what I think I can potentially unhold. The Night Ends in Fire by KX Song. I read this as a buddy read with Vanessa from Read with Dr. B. And I think I also read this as part of the Magical Readathon last November. And this one, it's okay. I somewhat enjoyed it. But I do think I don't need to own a physical copy. I could definitely read it off of my Kindle. It's not a book that I would really want to own. It's a Mulan reimagining with magical fantasy elements to it, so that was certainly the draw. But when I was reading it, I had some issues with the pace, some issues with the flow of the storytelling. While I enjoyed a lot of the characters and the dynamic between the different characters, that issue with the storytelling and how scenes are carried out and how they change from one scene to another was so jarring that it really affected my reading experience. So yeah, I think I'm gonna unhaul this one. I am taking a break from doing work. I also just finished uploading Bookmas Day 2 and adding captions, or not captions, descriptions, everything like that. Now I am gonna close this and read the first chapter of the priority, oh my god, the Priority of the Orange Tree, and see if I can easily get into it. If not, I'm gonna go to my holiday romance, which is 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. But let's give it a go. I keep making comments about how I'm dreading this or how I'm so scared of it, but I actually am really interested in reading this, and I love me a good chunky fantasy. It's a commitment, and I'm okay trying it out right now. So I'm gonna give it a go. If you didn't know what The Priority of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon is about, let me read you the synopsis. A world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. The House of Berethnet has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabran IX must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction, but assassins are creeping closer to her door. Eid Durian is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Eid keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. See, I love it. I love how it sounds. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of like warring factions, political intrigue, there's some secrecy and hidden societies involved, and an ancient enemy awakening. So there's so much that I feel like I would really love, and I just need to sink my teeth into it, and I just need to commit. I'm gonna try to do that right now. I've read the first 2 paragraphs, and I think I'm gonna go for it. I like the writing style, and that plays a big factor, especially when it's chunky fantasy, like the way that the story, like the narrator voice, if it's good, I often read it quite fast. So I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna read you the first line. The stranger came out of the sea like a water ghost, barefoot and wearing the scars of his journey. I like it. There's intrigue there. Like, who is this stranger? How is he coming out of the sea? Is he a magical creature? And scars of his journey, where has he been? So many questions already, and I'm already curious. So I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go find a bookmark. Definitely gonna be tabbing this because I feel like I would need to reference a bunch. and we'll go from there. I love the blue and this copper bronzy foil. It's so good. It looks so good. And I guess it helps that this is such a thick book that the spine is so thick and it has so much space for the foil to shine. But I love this combination so much.
Santa, I've been good this year. Make your list and check it twice. I'll leave you a note right here underneath the Christmas lights. Carols and bells, none of them help. I still feel blue. I just wanna fall in love this Christmas. I don't need a fancy watch. You can give the elves a break. No, you can't make it in the shop. You can't put it on your sleigh. You know me so well, nobody else